Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to engage an audience in public speaking. By the end of this video, I'll show you how to engage an in-person audience and how to earn a standing ovation at your next speaking presentation. I'm going to share with you the #1 thing to do before you even step on that stage. I'm going to share with you how to engage in the first 5 minutes. I'll share with you how to create engagement energy all through your presentation. Then I'll show you how to end your talk for maximum engagement and maximum follow-through. This first tip is customize. Make sure you know your customer and you know your audience. There are so many different ways to research. You can look them up on LinkedIn. Look for current news on the organization. If it's publicly traded, look for the stock information. There are so many different ways to make sure that you know your audience that will help you make sure that you speak their language, know their terms, and find all different ways to connect with them so that you feel part of their organization. The next tip is to create immediate value. Our culture is moving faster and faster with short-form videos in the range of 60 seconds. So look at the things that you can do in the first few moments of your presentation and how can you give them value. Give them a tip that's going to make their work better. Find a quote to help them change their mindset or think about their work differently. Give them a fact about their own industry that they don't know. Look for the different ways that you can give immediate value so it shows that you did your homework and your research just for them. This next tip is the way to set yourself apart. Do what other speakers don't. Look for all the different ways that you can set yourself apart. Don't talk for 45 minutes and have 15 minutes of Q&A. Everybody does that. What I like to do is actually put the Q&A in the middle of the program and use that as engagement time all through different parts of the program. Other examples that you can do is do an exercise. I had a friend once who said, lift and hold your backpack up. And it was an example of what happens when you're not authentic at work, is that you have to use all that energy to hold up that backpack to be somebody else. It was a great way, a short exercise that gave her point in a way that people could remember. In one of your exercises, you can build something. In one of the top TED Talks for team building, they built a marshmallow tower. And it had 20 sticks of spaghetti, a yard of string, a yard of tape, and 1 marshmallow. And through this 18-minute exercise, they were able to quickly show what happens to people in a design process and how people don't prototype. They come with this mindset to only have one idea, and when it works, either it's ta-da, or when it doesn't work, it's oh. And that's a great exercise that created a lot of energy inside of the room. You can look that up on a TED Talk called the Marshmallow Challenge. The next tip is to create energy. One of the best tips that I got is to create your own walk-on introduction. Make a short video that has a voiceover, has your high energy music, and it's something that you play that will be done better than 99+% of the MCs. The next thing that you can do is do exercises that create energy. They can be simple as greeting people in a non-excited place. Then the next time, greet people as if they were your best friend. It's one way to create a lot of energy and excitement inside a room in a short amount of time. I've even seen someone use a banana. A banana? They created an exercise to break a banana in half, and it got everybody inside of the room that if you break a banana slowly, by the way, it just squishes out. But if you actually break it quickly, it will break in half. By using this exercise, they were able to create a lot of energy inside of the room and use it as a metaphor for a breakthrough. Here's a great tip for in-person presentations. Do the things that you can't do in virtual. Well, many people are happy to be back in person. Now take advantage of all the things that you can do in person. Shake hands, maybe hug, maybe high five. There are so many different things that you can do in an in-person audience. You should take advantage of them. You could give out a card or a paper exercise. There are many ways that you can engage your audience using things that can only be done in person. In one example, I was able to create a talk in which we were able to break a board at the end of the presentation. And so in this presentation, we use a specific technique so that everybody in the audience who wants to can break a board safely. Now, what's the value of this exercise? This was the second year that we had done it, and somebody in the audience where we actually wrote down what goals did they have on one side of the board, and on the other side of the board, what is holding me back from achieving those goals. And that's what they broke through. This person was able to share that she achieved all of her goals 4 months after the last board break. So here's an example of an exercise that really turned into a piece of value for that person, and she was ready to set all new goals for this year. And this last tip, this tip is be generous. If you want to engage your audience, then give away the value that's unique to you. Look for all the different ways that you can give that value. It could be a handout, it could be a video, it could be a book, it could be a presentation. The more you give, the more that you'll get back. Here's one of the stories about being generous. In this presentation, we did something very unique by making an escape room that could be played entirely on your phone. And this story was about a young boy. When he was 9 years old, he had a headache, went to the doctor, and found out he had a cancer so rare that only 9 people in the world have ever had this type of cancer. Inside of the escape room, it showed through all the real parts that happened inside of that story. They looked up things where the dad once looked up in the Time Life book, the top 100 pediatric cancer doctors, didn't know him, called his number straight from that book, and the doctor actually picked up the phone. They were able to meet in a short time and was able to do a procedure to really help this young boy. One of the key parts that we ended on a high note, and to be really generous at the end, is that we had the boy who's now grown up, his name is Mark. Mark was actually there. And Mark came out after this game was played with high energy, came out and said, everything that happened in that story was true. It happened to me. He had actually survived 17 brain surgeries over 18 years to stand before that audience. And that audience gave him the only standing ovation of that entire program. So at your next in-person program, think of all the different things that you can do to stand out and really be the most engaging presentation of that conference. If this video has been helpful and you want to take it further, well then I got a free gift for you. Normally I have a masterclass that costs $100, but I'm going to give it to you for free. When you complete the 6 steps to more engaging presentations masterclass, you'll be able to get access to even more of these techniques and these tips and figure out how to put them all together so that you could be the recipient of the next standing ovation at your presentation. Make sure and click in the description below to get to that video.